you're going to get somewhere twice as fast. And that's something for all of them to keep in mind. But I think all your average LoL players are going to have a lot of fun with this. LoL put on their website, when you loaded up the game, they put on that they had their exclusive of Dominion. However, it wasn't quite as exclusive as they would lead you to believe, because Total Biscuit had a video on his channel, which is of Dominion. Now, it is an off-screen shot, so technically their on-screen shot is the exclusive, but technically TV got it fixed because he had it on his YouTube channel, literally hours, if not a day beforehand. And you can go check that out. It's his YouTube channel, Total Halibut, not Total Biscuit, because he's got two YouTube channels, one for WoW, WTF, all that sort of jazz, and Gamescom coverage like this. And then he's got StarCraft 2 channel, which I believe is Total Biscuit, if my memory serves me right. It should be. And he has got so much coverage from Gamescom. Apparently it's been a two-man team as well, and I dread to think how tired he will be. And he's got I-43 at the end of this week coming. He's got I-43 to go to. And the guy is literally like a rocket cannon. So do go and check his stuff out when you've got 5 minutes, because he covered everything else. You've got your StarCraft 2 coverage, etc. And he went and ran around everywhere else. And it was his last day there today, so big props to him. Moving on to Dota 2. This was what I expected, but at the same time it wasn't. It met with mixed reactions, as do most things nowadays. And some people say it looks good, solid, etc., and it's going to kill Hon with an Omni tool, for example. And then some saying it's not going to kill anything other than itself. I actually quite like to look at it. Another MOBA to add to the collection. I can see why this is more competitive overall. And is it going to kill Hon? Quite possibly, yes. Am I going to be sad to see Hon go? Probably not. It is a MOBA I can play on my Mac, yes, but that's the only thing, really. And I mentioned back on the original episode of SlagPits that I didn't actually like the look of LOL's graphics, and it is now 5 weeks later, and I actually quite like it now. And now I don't like Hon anymore. So the tides have changed there somewhat, and I've got to live with it. I suppose time will tell, and there's nothing that Valve or Riot or anybody can do, because it's all on viewers, gamers, etc. You know, it's all on us. It's not on them. We hold the power. They do not. They'd like to think they hold the power. They don't really. Because if we say no to something, no, it's done. I don't think we all want to go into the Duke Nukem story, do we? God, that was so sad. And I fell for that as well. I fell for that. All that Duke Nukem hype. I loved the look of it. I was looking so forward to it. Get there, and I was so unbelievably disappointed. It's like, well, if you're a woman, and you, for some reason, I don't know, in terms of pregnancy tests, if it's negative or positive, whichever one you'd find disappointing, that's pretty much how I felt. And I was so gutted, so unbelievably gutted with that game. I put my heart and soul into thinking that was going to be an ace game, and it turns out it had been 12 years for naught, for something that had fell behind the times before it was even released. So, okay, so back to Dota 2, gone slightly off topic. I didn't see much of the first day because there was so much going on. You know, you have you've got LOL, StarCraft 2, and when I sat down and thought about it, which do I want to watch? And it was coming up to choosing between what I wanted to watch myself, and I ended up choosing LOL. Obviously, I picked StarCraft 2 above them both, but it ended up being LOL for me first, probably because that's what I'm most familiar with at the moment. But, you know, I quite like to look at it. But there's been a gentleman called Gabe Newell who was interviewed, and he's confirmed that Dota 2 will get a similar system as most Valve things like this do tend to, get regular updates like TF2 does, Team Fortress 2, and new content. Now, that actually does make it quite interesting. I know that the other two big MOBAs do bring in updates and all that good jazz and all this new content. But with the idea of mixing LOL with a Team Fortress 2 thing sounds actually quite interesting. So I want to see, it's clear that Valve are very on top of it, basically, which that's not a bad thing, is it, really? You know. And he also said that he believes that the game will grow with the gamers. Nice speech. Nice. It was a nice enough speech, and I suppose a nice enough cut and pat and parcel interview. Just pop the link in for you there. More important than any of this, of course, is who is going to win the tournament. You know, I believe the winner. So I was told when I got home. I've literally rushed home, and I haven't actually checked anything since I got back. So if the winner has already been announced, I am going to look like an absolute TIT, to put it briefly. But apparently all the finals are tomorrow, as best my knowledge goes with these things when my head is spinning. And like I said, I put a tweet on today, I said half a script, half a brain, and that is exactly what's going on today. So, let's come away from Dota. Someone is going to win $1 million, and it's not me. Or any of you, possibly. So, shall we not dwell on the subject no longer? It's pretty depressing, isn't it? Back to the lottery. So, there was a lot of popular trailers shown for upcoming games. Uncharted 3, Metal Gear, which is already out, but it keeps getting repackaged and shipped out. Dark Souls, the Star Wars Old Republic, Guild Wars 2, and you can get all of them on YouTube. And I wanted to pick one to do a mention about. So I decided to choose Borderlands 2. Because Gearbox have made what in gaming I like to call it a rather bold statement. What they've basically come out and said is that Borderlands 2 is going to be a true sequel. Let's just think about what's involved with those words. Their exact words were that their series, their game, won't fall into the trap of it being a one-year turnaround content dump sequels. Bold claims. A lot of people game developers fall into this trap of, well, like they say, content dumping sequels. Like I say, repackaging them, shipping them out. You know, because once you've got something and it makes money, why would you not redo that and throw it back out and make yourself more money? Of course you would. I'd like to hope they've got a little more respect for us than that. But, it's, well, they're claiming that it's going to be a true sequel. And so they claim they've given more love to the story this time around, because like somebody's just said in the chat, that it got boring fast, as most games of this nature tend to do. You know, I can't believe how long it took my other half to finish the latest Resident Evil game. It wasn't a long game by any stretch if he'd sat down and did it. He could have had it finished. Trouble is, he kept lacking the motivation to finish it. It's when you lose will in something like that. It's not like StarCraft 2, where if we've had a bit of a rough week. We've had a bit of a rough week on StarCraft 2. Lad has been giving us a little bit of a whipping round the backside. We're not feeling too great. We've lost a bit of inspiration and passion to keep laddering. So we take a week off, or 2 weeks off, or 3 weeks off even, you know, and then you come back to it. Coming back to StarCraft 2 is easy enough. Just coming back to actually finish a game like this, we're not talking about coming around and playing it again, just coming back and finishing the thing could be hard enough, you know. And if they've given love to, like I say, they've given love to the story, but they don't want to shove it down people's throats. That's another difficult balance, isn't it? Don't we think? Being able to balance, take the story down your throat, or something that you can skim over. You know, that's something, whether they're going to do it or not. I mean, they're saying it's coming out in 2013, and they've also said they're doing some changes to the weapon system, and the AI is getting some fine-tuning, and they're saying, like, if you can, whereas before you can jump on a rock, shoot down at the AI, and it won't shoot back at you. It's claiming that now the AI will be able to, aha, you're up there, I'm going to shoot you now. You know, I'm not that stupid. And that's apparently, they're making the AI a bit smarter, basically. You know, got to give the AI some love as well, haven't we? Brutal AI on StarCraft 2, I could hit it with a hammer. Hit it with a hammer, that solves everything. Right, well, that's... yes, I've got to say congratulations to somebody. League of Legends caster that I follow, that everybody should follow, Four-Court Jester. F-O-U-R, Court Jester. And he has got onto MLG for LOL casting. And I'm so incredibly proud of him, because he's such an underrated caster, and he needs some love. I call him Mr. MOBA, because he's my favourite LOL caster, and he's doing with that other guy, what's his name, Rivington III, and you know, Rivington's ace as well, but Jester is there for me, and everyone else comes about, you know, here if I'm trying to do a very wonky level. You know, everybody's got to have some love for Jester. He's a hell of a guy, and he's managed to get onto MLG for the LOL casting. And me and the other half were sitting there watching him while he was streaming, trying to pick replays to send to MLG. He was so nervous about it, and he's managed to do it. And I love seeing the talented ones that work hard getting the work rewarded. Love seeing that. And he will be starting at MLG Rally, so that's even more reason to tune in. It's brill. I mentioned that Cynical Brit has been doing coverage for Gamescom. The other place that you can go, I'm trying to recommend places if you want a quick roundup. The other place is GameStop. I'm trying to remember what the website is. GameStop.com, basically. If you go back to the Battlefield link that I put in the chat, basically that website has got basically the longest list you can imagine of the Gamescom related stuff. Shame I don't actually like LOL. He does do some